right on the edge of a wash right now, where at times the water will be several feet deep or more and come rushing down through here and actually move these huge rocks and boulders. And I was looking at this tree, and it's almost like it said, I have a story, I have something to say. And then the two key words that came up around that were survival and surrender. That seems so kind of incongruous. How do those come together? What's the question within that? The other component that came in was my friend the hungry ghost. A little heart that's sitting on top of it. And a strong heart, warrior heart, a broken piece of ceramic. So this tree, it came up sideways, it grew sideways from underneath this rock. A kind of willfulness within its plant soul, you could say, that it wants to live. It's got the water, but it needs light. You can see it actually grew sideways until it got out here, and then it went straight up to the light. Sometimes things, think of this as in the beginning of the life of this tree. I mean, in the beginning, it's growing up underneath a rock. It's like right in the beginning of its life. It's faced with what would almost seem like an impossible odds to survive. Imagine that there are people like that not when they're older, but when they're very young, perhaps even in infancy, that something that shatters their literal and little soul. And they do what they can. They do what they can to survive beneath this weight of the event. And the weight in their effort to do what they survive, the helpless feelings, the powerless feelings, the fragileness, the weakness within this, all that are carried by this little heart. They now get sort of lost, buried. And probably in that event is a feeling of the lack of love. So in a way, they're growing in this way is the hungry ghost, which is reaching for love. It's reaching for love, but it's going sideways. So it's a hungry ghost that is trying to fine. The flies are surviving very well today. Beauty's trying to get them. So that hungry ghost is trying to satisfy the hunger of the love that was absent. Because in finding that love, it finds itself, so to speak. Without that love, there was no experience of itself. So, just like this tree, it's doing whatever it can to survive. And perhaps, just like this tree, even though it seems driven by the hungry ghost, what it really wants in its deepest self, beneath all the weight of emotions that could not move, and the disruption of the harmony of its soul, that it would naturally just seek the light, but that seeking the light, seeking itself, seeking peace, is like that tree reaching up into the sky, to the sun, the sun, the sun. In a way, even though that person is shattered at an early age, still within it, somewhere, is something that is reaching for the sun, for the self, for true love. Not the love that the hungry ghost wants, which is riding its back, riding their back. So imagine that this person, this is the first part of their life, all the way up to here. They live from survival. They have to struggle, they have to fight, they have to be careful, they have to look out for things. The old broken, shattered event colors their vision, determines in a sense the course that they're taking. And they survive. They survive, but the hunger is always there. They're always trying to fulfill that. They don't know peace, happiness, worth, their own worth. Until they choose to alter their course, choose to turn and face the hungry ghost, retrieve that little heart, the little self, the one that got left behind. To take it back up again, to not let the strong warrior heart that has to survive, that hates this little person, that in choosing to engage all the abandoned feelings that had to be left behind in this struggles to survive, now they choose to bring in this little heart to whose forgotten feelings they choose to surrender to, in a way. The feelings, not that what they think. To bring in qualities that will give them trust and worth and value and a different kind of courage. It takes a different kind of courage to embrace and embody these feelings. But in this reunion, another heart is born from the two that were separated. And then in this heart, it's almost like the in-between size. It's white, and it fits right in my hand. And aligning with that balance, helps them now to align with why they're truly here, which is not just to survive, but to align with their soul's true purpose in this life, which links the sky and the earth. It links all things within them. The light they seek is within themselves. And the growth continues. It's not stopping. It's like choosing another path. At this point, they choose a path that is self-compassion, a path that is harmless, and what blocked the way is cleared with love, their own love of themselves. The hungry ghost is love, the little fragile one is love. All the feelings in this event, nothing thrown out of the circle of the self. And this now thrusts up from the center of the circle of who they are. It may have taken 50 years, 60 years of their life. But it took that long, that's all. This isn't a mistake. It's survival. It's doing the best you can. So it's to be honored. It survived. This tree survived. This person survived and then changed their course. So all of this is honored. As it now begins to serve the new alignment. All things come together to serve that. To serve the center of the circle of who you are. And to let this spine of your life reach up. Reach up. To touch. To link. To join. To bring oneness as that circle of who you are. That all things can move in. All things. Right, beauty? So I thank you, tree. Thank you. Thank you, beauty. Thank you, rocks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes.